I've got John Sansone and Matt Warren here. These are the guys from Farmer Wants a Wife.
Bucket list collab. Love Field and Stream.
Well,
Yeah.
that too, yeah.
Yeah, all about like cartel influence on the avocado market.
So on The Bachelor, we went snooping one night and we ended up finding the producer room and it had a storyboard. The
No
producers
way.
had been
Wow.
planning out.
They were just going off how we actually felt the whole time. So the producers like daily, like, who do you like?
John!
I would love to shoot an elk and have one in my living room.
Mine is Alaska. If I do grizzly, it's gonna be bow.
And this podcast was brought to you by the Catholic Church.
Yeah.
Bingo. Sign up.
G'day, mates. It's your host, Mary O'Neill Phillips, and you are listening to Country Outdoors Podcast.
Let's first get into reality TV and then we'll get into hunting and fishing and all of that stuff. But like I told you guys, I was on The Bachelor in Australia, so I got a first-hand experience on how some of that stuff works. But I'm interested to see, our scenario is a lot different. How is the experience, I guess, for the two of you? Were you really genuinely going in to find love, or were you thinking, oh, this will also help career-wise and all that too? Because like me personally, I was going in as an actor to try and get enough PR to get me to LA. Like,
All right.
honestly.
It's very nice to be honest about that. But realistically, and I don't know, I'm not going to speak for Matt, but for me, it was a double-edged sword.
Yeah.
It was like, yes, this is a very fun thing. It could boost a career, maybe start a whole new career. But it'd be also nice to find a wife out of it. So it was kind of like you go in with two different expectations.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then how was it on the actual show?
I thought it was a blast. I mean, it's obviously, you probably know.
You get to do
crazy
some really cool
experience.
things that, yeah.
Yeah, and this show is so different than all the other ones. It's a lot more conservative, kind of family oriented. But what I always tell people, the big difference is it's filmed on our ranches.
Yeah.
So the girls come and move onto our properties and are actually like with our families and like where we live. So that's pretty crazy compared to just, taking off to some resort somewhere.
It's also a really good way to like see whether or not you like somebody, because you're kind of just bringing them straight into your world,
Yeah.
so, which doesn't happen in a normal scenario. Like, I don't know about you guys, but I'm certainly not bringing somebody home to my family on like the first or second date.
Yeah, we certainly wouldn't have done it as quickly as we did.
Yeah.
And you're right. It is great because you get to meet them and go through everything right away. But it's also tough because you are in an echo chamber. You're in a little dome. Like,
Yeah.
you don't get to experience them in real life.
Yeah.
Everybody's worried about the camera
Yep.
and things like that. So it is a little different. So that's why the after period after the show wrapped was great to actually get to know the girls.
It's the thing that we've said on our season was, it's like, so on The Bachelor, they essentially like lock you in on a house. You can't have any contact with the outside world. So we like couldn't read a live newspaper. We couldn't watch live television. We couldn't have our cell phones. No contact with the outside world until you leave. And so you're living and breathing The Bachelor. And like in that scenario, everything is so like pumped up, and it seems so much bigger and more important, and the people seem like he seems like he's the best person in the world, or like I'm sure in your guys' case it would be like this person in particular seems like it's like, oh my gosh. And then like what you said, you kind of like pop the bubble and you go outside and you're like, oh, this was like not real and weird.
Yeah.
Exactly.
It felt very real all the time, especially for all the girls too, because they come and leave their homes and all that, and they're living like, in our little world. So yeah, it was pretty crazy.
Yeah, they're on real lockdown. Granted, with us, we're around our families, we're in our homes, we have a real life to live, and we get to live.
Mm-hmm.
But with them, they're basically in like they're a prison,
Yeah.
for lack of better words.
Yeah.
I don't know if that's a word out.
Yeah, I mean,
No,
Use,
ours
but
was. We
yeah.
called it the $1 million prison.
yeah, I mean, pretty much.
That's what we
They
called
don't
it.
have their phones.
Yeah.
They don't have access to work or anything. I mean, granted, they get that stuff every now and then, but for the most part, lockdown.
Yeah,
From a
big time.
production standpoint, like so one of the girls and I, who was an actor, we went snooping one night and we ended up finding the producer room and it had a storyboard. And so we could see like the arc that the
No
producers
way.
had been
Wow.
planning out. And so I got to see first. So essentially what we had figured out happened was he kind of in like the first 2 weeks knew the girl that he liked and like the top 3 or 4 girls. And so the producers kind of had those girls there, and then they had like 7 or 8 girls other. And you could say, oh, this girl's drama, so she needs to stay for a certain amount of time so
No
that there's
way.
drama in the show. She can't stay too long because then the audience won't believe in him. She's like a sweetheart, blah, 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 and all of this. And so like we got to see like from the production standpoint how they actually build the entertainment side of it,
That's unbelievable.
which was
Wow.
very interesting.
Ours
We could-
was
yeah,
was
go ahead.
pretty real. They were just going off how we actually felt the whole time. So the producers like daily, like, who do you like?
John?
Well, I'm saying for the most, we don't know. they very well could have had that stuff. And granted, we are still under contract. We still have an NDA. It'll be up here next week, though.
Farmer's Tale
on Tuesday, it's done. But
Tuesday, what time?
After the finale, I believe.
It's like 2 p.m. and then at 3 p.m. we're doing a tell-all.
I didn't even know that.
We'll do it.
There we go. It's very interesting.
To 100, I don't think I lose my enthusiasm.
The more things change, the more they stay the same around here. After 40 years of dirt, sticks and leaves, I think it's safe to say the Mossy Oak family and brand are people that you can trust. So head to mossyoak.com and get your gear today.
Going to just like kind of normal life. Obviously, you guys went into that though because you come from farming backgrounds, which is, this is country outdoors. So we love rural living, hunting, fishing, the lifestyle. I wanted to have you guys on when you reached out and stuff too, because I was like, these guys actually live and breathe the lifestyle that we love. So this is going to be a breeze of a conversation. Actual hunters, actual land managers. And I know you guys come from very different ag backgrounds, but let's kind of go through back and forth on like each of your family histories with farming and ag.
I'll fire off here, but I actually didn't grow up in ag. I grew up around it.
Okay.
And then through some kind of family tragedies, I kind of hopped in there with my brother and sister-in-law.
Wow.
Unfortunately, her parents both passed away very young, and it fell onto my brother, who also didn't know anything about farming.
Wow.
And so I dropped what I was doing. I was like, hey, I'll do whatever you need me to do. And then just, full-time farming for like the last 2 or 3 years. And the next thing I know, I'm on a show as a farmer. So it was kind of a whirlwind.
So it was all like, did you guys were kind of just figuring it out as you went along?
Oh, big time, yeah.
You were in avocados, right?
Avocados, and we grow a thing called finger limes, which actually come
I know
from
what a finger
Australia.
lime is. Yeah.
Some people don't, but you probably do.
Yeah.
And so that's been a big challenge of ours, is like how to sell those, because people in the States don't know what they are.
Because the Haas avocado started in California, didn't it?
Originally, I think more south than that, but yeah, and as far as in the States, like Southern California.
Have you guys had any, I'm just, because I'm such a, I'm a little bit of a conspiracy theorist, but do the cartel ever like have anything to do with you guys in industry? Yeah.
We actually, there's a show on Netflix called Rotten.
Yeah.
There was an episode that I'm not in, but our family, they filmed with us, and it talks all about, it's called Avocado Wars.
Yeah.
So it's all about like cartel influence on the avocado market and how it affects California and all
It's
these things.
so interesting to me. And like down in Mexico, they're like fully taking, like they'll move people's water access so that they can take their land, and they're making all these farmers like completely depleted.
It completely monopolized,
Wow.
the whole avocado industry.
Well, kudos to you for like, it's cool that you didn't come from that in the background, because I think there's a lot of people that like want to get into farming or want to start a garden and all of this and never have. And it's like, if you can just, how did you guys like even start to learn?
That's a good question. What's really cool about farming is the industry, ag industry in general. Everyone's really friendly and they want to help you. Yeah. So all of our neighbors are huge help, and just people in general, you can pretty much reach out to anyone and they're always, willing to offer a hand, which is great.
And I would think as well, because like the government, like trying to, and like, big money trying to take over so much of the land at the moment, I would think that small production, that's why you guys would want to be sticking together and supporting each other.
Yeah, it's very tough.
Yeah.
Very tough.
Okay, awesome. Thank you. John?
My farming background is somewhat similar. My mother grew up on a farm that has been in our family for 6 generations now. My grandfather, he's a full-blood farmer, been farming since he was a young boy. And it's 2 hours south of where I live in St. Louis. Mm-hmm. So we go down there all the time. I help my grandfather where he needs it. Not as much in the ag space, because down there it's kind of a community thing where the neighbor comes and tills and harvests everybody's land. And then they, obviously get a cut.
Yeah. So what are they growing on it?
It's row crop. So it's corn, wheat, soybean.
Yeah.
So that is my connection to the farm. I'd like to do it when I'm, established and stuff. Yeah. But in the meantime, I'm 27 years old. I got to get a proper career.
It's also so much money, isn't it? Like it's so hard. And I feel like the like inheritance taxes and all of that stuff that's there now, it's like they're trying to make it almost impossible to have generational wealth with farming.
There's ways around it. And
trust, isn't it? There's something to do with the trust.
There's something with the trust. But that's a lot of the stuff that I'd like to learn. I'm in law school right now. So kind of going through that, going to use that degree to kind of help out in areas like that. Mm-hmm. So there is still faith.
That's cool. Yeah. I love it. Are you Irish Catholic, or what is your? Are you
Italian?
Italian Catholic?
Yeah, Catholic.
I saw you doing all the Catholics. I'm a Catholic too, so I saw you doing all the. Nice. Are you Catholic?
Yeah.
Oh, there you go.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Catholic crew.
Love it. Yeah, no, I saw what sect, I guess. We're Franciscan.
Oh, I don't have a specific one.
Okay.
Yeah, I mean,
we're the peacemakers.
I just call myself a papist.
Yeah, my mom said it's funny because I was telling somebody yesterday. My mom is like, you know, my family. My dad was in the unions back in the day. The unions in Australia, by the way, were good. They were. Okay. They're I know they're kind of. You're Italian.
Can't
Come
say
on,
the
man.
same about the US.
Yeah, no, it was a very different situation. But my parents were both in the unions back in the day. My dad was in industrial relations, ended up as an industrial relations commissioner. But my mom, her like interview process of people growing up would be like, who do you vote? Labor. So like Labor is very like blue collar working class kind of in Australia, like who you vote for. And then second is like, are you Catholic? And then are you a rock chopper? And a rock chopper in Australia means like, are you working class Catholic?
Huh, never heard of that.
Yeah.
That's
very
cool.
interesting.
Yeah, rock chopper. And so that's kind of how she judges people when you come to their house. Yeah. If you get invited back or not. So that's cool.
If I'm hunting with a gun, you know I'm running a bog death grip tripod every single time. The one that got away still haunts me. And I promised myself I'd never miss again for lack of a steady rest. So when that once-in-a-lifetime shot shows up, there's zero reason not to get locked in, get rock solid, and send it with confidence.
So let's talk hunting, boys, because...
Love to.
Yes. Okay, let's kind of go back. I'm going to go back and forth with you both on, like, who got you into hunting first hunt?
You know what? My brother and I kind of got into it together just through friends and all that kind of stuff. I didn't, it wasn't like a generational thing at all. I think first hunt... We have a lot of pigs in our area, and so wild boar is kind of like our main thing.
Which for ag would be challenging.
Yeah, so we're in a huge wine area. There's like 350 wineries, and they just destroy wine crops. So it's kind of cool because you can pretty much talk to any wine farmer, and they'll invite you to come shoot pigs. So it's great to get access to property.
That's awesome. So was it pig hunting the first thing that you guys got into?
Yeah, I got into that first, and then a little bit of mule deer, and then like I was mentioning to you earlier, I got a buddy that is huge in the hunting space, and so he's been taking me around the country, duck hunting in Idaho, and we actually was pretty neat where we filmed the first episode of the show. We all kind of met up in Alabama. It's called Otter Creek Distillery, yeah, and they you can lodge there and hunt quail.
Oh, nice.
So after the filming, they invited me and John and the other two guys back for a weekend of quail hunting, and so that was pretty cool.
That's awesome.
Special trip.
Love it.
It was fun.
Yeah.
And
great
so,
people.
Mostly gun hunting, or do you bow hunt too?
I have not got into bows yet. I want to, but I haven't bridged that gap.
Yeah. Once you do, you'll kind of be hooked.
That's what I hear.
Stop.
Are you a bow hunter? Mm-hmm. Okay, a bit of both.
Bit of both, but mainly bow now. Like you said, once you get into it, it's hard to put it down.
Yeah, until you have a kid, and then you're like, I was pretty hardcore bow hunting, and then when I had my little girl, your time just in the woods becomes like so precious. Do you know what I mean? That it's like, I want to have like high success rate, know. So, get your first hunt.
I really don't remember my first hunt. I've just been doing it since I was such a little boy.
At Grandpa's property?
Grandpa's property, our property in St. Louis, in the like suburban area. I had my little buck BB gun, shooting doves and all that stuff in the backyard. But then my dad took me, I think maybe my first hunt was, my dad took me duck hunting with my godfather. And I fell in love with it. I mean, I can't stop. I wait for fall every year. I'm itching for it to come. But what was nice is my dad is not really big into hunting, but he knew that I was as a kid. So he would really go out of his way to try and take me on as many as he could.
Aww.
And looking back, I mean, you could have sworn he loved it. But now when I talk to him about it, he's like, I hated every bit of it.
Oh my God.
I just did it for you. And that just shows how good of a dad he was.
Absolutely.
And, but yeah, I mean, now I do it all on my own. In fact, I take him sometimes. So it kind of goes full circle.
And what about when it comes to like eating wild game? What are your guys' favorite type? What species, like what food?
Well, I eat all the ducks we kill. I love waterfowl hunting.
Yeah.
So we eat all the ducks. I also eat squirrel whenever I shoot those.
Squirrel gumbo is very
pretty
good.
Dang good.
Yes.
Yeah, it's slept on. I had a rattlesnake over the summer 2 years ago, which was pretty interesting.
I haven't tried that. What did that taste like?
I mean, granted, I deep fried the hell out of it, so it pretty much tasted like chicken, but it was pretty good.
Yeah?
Yeah.
Oi! Stop. So I've actually been looking at buying land myself, and it's made me realize how important it is to have the right lender. And that's why I love what Rural First are doing. They specialize in land and rural financing, and they even invest back into rural communities, which I personally love. So if you're curious, like I am, go and check them out at ruralfirst.com. Loans subject to credit approval and eligibility. Additional terms and conditions may apply. Farm Credit Mid-America is an equal housing lender. Rural First is a registered trademark of Farm Credit Mid-America, NMLS 407249. Rural First products are available to consumers within the territories of participating farm credit system associations.
I've got some questions here for the two of you to read for. Okay. Take one there.
Should I be nervous?
Oh, it's for both.
Yeah, we'll do one after the other.
I got one. Favorite outdoor memory? We camped a lot when I was a kid, and we live next to the Sequoia National Forest, and so that's where all the largest redwood trees in the world are. We're probably 2 to 3 hours from there. And so that was like our entire summers was trout fishing up on these native streams. And no, hands down, I'll never forget that. I'll definitely do that with my kids one day.
That's awesome. I went to the Muir Woods when I lived in San Francisco for a while. Okay. Went to middle school there for a while, and I remember we went to Muir Woods, and some of those woods up there are just like magical.
You could like get a collapsible pole and a little pack and just take off up these streams or to like a native lake.
It smells so good too. It's like
cook some fresh trout after over the fire.
I love it.
Yeah.
Awesome.
My favorite one?
Yep.
I mean, it's not really one of those conventional great memories that everybody's going to agree with, but to me, it was very nice and meaningful. But it was in 4th grade. It was my birthday. I had to go take a test because I was failing history, so I had to go in real quick.
Grade?
Yeah.
You fail history.
That's how it is.
It's brutal.
So I went in, took it. I had one wrong answer, which meant I was going to fail, but my teacher was like, so I filled that in. And then I went pheasant hunting with my dad, which was outstanding. And you know, when the day's kind of coming to a close, you get that depressed feeling like, oh, it's all over. I didn't have that because my friends were coming over to sleep over, and just like that whole day will never leave my mind. It's just such a fun, wholesome memory that I just love.
And your dad's like, I actually hated it.
Pretty much.
It was one of the worst days of my life.
It was funny because just a couple weeks ago, I'd written about it, like when I was younger. And my dad had just pulled it out and started reading it. He couldn't even get through the first line. He was bawling his eyes out. It was hilarious.
Are both of your parents still alive?
Yeah. Thank God.
Good for you.
I feel like in some sense, John and I were raised in similar ways with really good parents that have been married for a long time. Both come from Catholic families.
I mean, even just like being Catholic is just a huge thing that you can't really explain because it's just like culturally, like Catholics are just raised in the same way. It's just like there's a value system there, and even just the traditions and stuff in the church, like there's just something to me that's like a Christmas paraliturgy, or like, so my dad died 6 years ago very suddenly from pancreatic cancer, and he had like, I'm telling you, his funeral was the most beautiful thing that I've ever, like, it was like all the bells and whistles, and like I knew after that, I'm like, that's how you do a funeral. I mean, like, it's just all the incense, everything, and it's just like a send-off, you know?
That's beautiful. Yeah. That is really beautiful.
Yeah.
And you're right. It is like being Catholic growing up, it instills a sense of discipline, patience.
Yeah.
And you're right, the value system and things like tradition and things like that.
There's something to turn to when you're not sure in life too, you know?
Gives you an explanation for bad things that go wrong.
And like, look, I'll be honest, like there's a lot of things that I don't agree with the Catholic Church, but every church honestly has issues too. Right. So that's something that I've had to kind of like, I went through a period where I was like very angry with the Catholic Church. Which happens. But what it comes down to is people are imperfect and Jesus is
But the Catholic Church, it's perfect.
Amen.
I mean, it's the longest standing religion in the world.
Yeah.
Well, except for Judaism. But
have you either of you been to Israel?
I tried to go. I went, I was in Jordan, so I was right there, and I tried to go, and it was right before all that stuff kind of first happened, so I wasn't able to, but I really want to go to Jerusalem.
Have you?
I did. I went, it was right when they had just started strikes on the Gaza Strip, so it was like, honestly was probably like a month from never being able to go. My mom has never been, and like, I just wish for her that she could go over, but it was really like, it's an experience I think that like everyone should try and do at some stage. There's like you feel spiritual warfare in there in such a different way too. I walked through the Muslim Quarter and I could feel so much darkness. But then sitting in the room where the Last Supper was, like there's just something crazy about that.
Incredible.
And I got this where is my chain? Is my chain on me? Yeah. I got this, my mum bought me this gold chain, but this is the Jerusalem cross, which is the 4 Gospels. And I got that in the Holy City and then took it to, so like when you go into I forgot the name of the church, the Catholic church there, like the big one. It's called the Holy something. I can't remember the name. Sepulchre. Yeah. When you go in, they've got like the stone laid down where they laid Jesus on to wrap him in afterwards. And so I took it in there and blessed it on that.
Unbelievable.
Which was cool. My sister actually, she had her first communion in the tomb of St. Francis in Assisi.
Okay.
Wow.
So if you ever get a chance to go over to, have you gone to Italy before?
Yes.
Have you been to
Vatican.
Assisi?
Yeah, not Assisi.
The Vatican?
We did the Vatican.
So I'll tell you another story. So my mom, so the Assisi one is super cool. You go down into like, Assisi is amazing because that's where St. Francis is from. Mm-hmm. And that town is just incredible. But you go down into the tomb and they've got this like, it's just like this tiny room and like his tomb is there. And it was amazing. I hadn't had my first communion yet. So I wasn't allowed to like sit at the front. I had to sit back and all of that stuff. And I think that stuff as well is really interesting because it teaches kids that like there's a pecking order and patience and all of that stuff. But the other thing I was going to tell you, and this is not bragging rights, but kind of because Catholic, no, my mother had breast cancer when I was in the 2nd grade. And my dad at the time knew a Cardinal Cassidy, and he organized for my family to get a private blessing on the stage at the Vatican with Pope John Paul II, who was known to be like such a great pope. Like, I met him. He blessed my entire family.
Wow.
My mum survived.
Cool.
She was given an 8% chance of living.
Oh my gosh.
See, isn't that just amazing? It's just such a testament to how strong Catholicism is. Like the tragedies that you've gone through still hold your faith.
Yeah.
No other religion has that type of stuff.
Yeah. And I recently went to Germany too and did I backpacked a little bit around and I went to Trier, which is where Peter's first church was built, like outside. And it's just like, I mean, that's just proof of like the discipleship that they did and how far they traveled to go and spread the word. Do you know what I mean? Because this is like Germany from Israel.
The stories from that time
and
insane.
Yeah. So, that's really cool.
How you feeling tonight? It's CMA Fest. Performances by Lainey Wilson, Luke Bryan, Jelly Roll.
Are y'all with us tonight?
And rockin' collaborations. Russell Dickerson featuring Fetty Wap, Gretchen Wilson featuring Ella Langley, and more. Plus, the can't-miss reunion of Florida Georgia Line, the music event of summer.
Let's go CMA Fest!
Presented by SoFi, June 25th on ABC, next day on Hulu.
Bucket list hunt.
Ooh.
Go ahead, Matt.
That's a tough one. I mean, there's all kinds of things I really want to do. I've never gotten an elk, and so I think that's kind of my next big thing I want to do.
Yeah.
I've got some buddies who go to Utah a lot. There's some monsters out there. So I would love to shoot an elk and have one in my living room.
Yeah, that's a good one.
Mine is Alaska.
Yeah.
For sure.
Good too.
I don't know the game I would go for really because I'm between a moose and a grizzly.
Yeah.
But
well, you're into bow hunting now. Shooting a grizzly with your bow would be pretty.
Like to see that.
See, if I do grizzly, it's gonna be bow.
Yeah.
It has to be. But
your guide would have a gun anyway. You kind of need to have somebody with a backup gun.
But I also I want to bring my dad with me, so I don't know if he's gonna want to do that.
Your dad, you hate hunting. Yeah, let's take you on a grizzly hunt.
Like
Does he fish at all? Does he like to fish?
Yeah, you know what? He's actually gotten a lot more into fishing, especially now that he got a lake house down at Table Rock Lake in Missouri.
Yeah.
And he goes white bass, walleye, largemouth all the time.
So spring bear mixed with like salmon fishing is probably how to do it.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Well, the Missouri actually now has a black bear season. I put my name in for it. We'll hear the draw results here in a couple weeks. So
good luck.
Thank you.
Awesome.
I'll need it.
There you go.
What's your bucket list on it?
I was just talking to a guy today, so I think I'd really like to do. There's 2 things I'd like to do. I'd love to do stag in Scotland. I'm a big want to go and find Lassie, go down to the fishing villages and all of that, and then hike those mountains. I hunted stag in Australia, and there's just something so majestic about the mist on the mountains and hiking through the mountain, hearing the roar echoing through the mountains and stuff like that. I don't know. I think it would be really cool to hunt a stag in that environment, in their natural environment.
Yeah.
Or in England, obviously. And then a moose would be great in Alaska. I also think Greenland for reindeer and muskox would be really cool too. And then they have this sea duck that you can go hunt as well, but it's rugged environment. So I think that would be it's the eider, the king eider. Yeah.
Beautiful.
Yeah.
That would be very cool.
So yeah, one of those.
Really good.
All right, you ready?
Okay.
The one that got away.
Yeah,
I thought it was going to be about a girl, but it's not.
Okay, this is going to segue into a segment called "The One That Got Away." So if you've had a rifle hunt where you've missed an animal, missed a deer or something like that because you didn't have a rest stick.
Okay.
If you've got that story, do you have a story?
That was not the story I had in mind.
Okay, what was the story? Tell us the story.
This has happened more than once, but particularly I was with my buddy Bryce. We, had got our deer tags, hunted the whole season, of course, didn't get anything, and then we're out on his property as the day after the season closed, and we were just fooling around doing something else, and we saw, and we don't get bucks that are too big in California. I mean, there are some, but compared to Texas a lot, we saw this just absolute monster, both of us were just oh my gosh, that thing's even on this property. And it was the day after it closed.
Yeah.
We still talk about that one. We're man, that thing was just huge for our area.
And you never saw him again?
Never saw him again. Of course, it's we were out there all the time, then it closed. And
some redneck probably shot that deer. They were one day, what's one day? I'm just not going to post about it.
Some guy from his truck probably.
Yeah.
Dang it.
I don't have, because I only deer hunted rifle, so I really don't have a store-out rifle. But can I still say one?
Yeah.
I'd say a canvasback duck. I've been trying to get one of those since I've been duck hunting. I just can't seem to get one. In Missouri, a lot of those divers come down that Mississippi flyway, so we get a bunch of ringnecks and all that stuff. But I guess I just haven't been close enough to the river to get a canvasback.
Yeah.
But another one that had got away, and I could have used a rest for this because it's a shotgun. Osceola turkey.
Yeah. So for anything, it doesn't have to be just for.
Okay.
Yeah.
Let's Osceola turkey.
Okay, tell us the story.
I mean, it's just the general. I just can't seem to get one. I've hunted so many times down in Florida, and it's just miserable environment to hunt turkeys in. I mean, you had to have gotten more.
Yeah,
I can't seem to find one.
Really? Well, okay. So where in Florida were you?
I was in Big Cypress, so it was public.
Oh, in the public.
Yeah.
Oh, that's brutal. That is
brutal.
known to be one of the toughest.
I mean, there were multiple times where I legitimately thought I was going to die.
Yeah, and the mosquitoes and stuff in there. It's
snakes.
Full on swamp.
Yep, that's where I got that rattlesnake.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You got something.
At least you got something.
I think we can help you out with a pin on there, but you might just have to pull the trigger and buy yourself an Osceola hunt down there, mate.
I can't. I once you do public once, you can't stop until you get that one.
It's very hard. The problem is with Big Cypress is did you go in with an e-bike or anything?
No, walked.
You need to go in with an e-bike and you need to be able to go past everybody that's walking.
I know.
That's the thing.
We were way too close to the campsite.
Because it's so hard to walk in there too. Yeah. So
I mean, we actually took a pedal bike, no e-bike, and we went around the entire property because we thought it was going to turn back at some point.
Yeah.
Kept pushing.
Yeah.
And we ended up being out there from dawn to dusk.
Okay.
Awful.
I'll drop you some pins.
Please do.
I will.
If you hunt, you know how easy it is to lose track of where you are, especially around property lines. That's why here at Country Outdoors, we only use onX Hunt, the #1 hunting app. It shows public and private boundary lines so you always know where you stand. We use it for scouting, marking spots, and even navigating. It just takes the guesswork out of everything. If you want to hunt smarter this season, go check out onX Hunt at onxmaps.com and know where you stand.
I'm not a big turkey hunter.
Oh, well, you're going to have to change that.
Not on anything.
Isn't that a shame?
Oh,
it's not that big over there.
Turkey hunting in California?
Yeah.
Not where I live, at least.
It's not that big out west, which is why I go hunting for turkeys out west because they're really into deer and they're go and kill them. We don't care about them. So that's always fun. You can door knock and get permission. I got permission on the senator of Wyoming's property when I did my first single season slam and didn't know he was the senator of Wyoming. And I had been trying to fill my Merriam tag and driven back and forth. And do you know what the Devil's Tower is? It's like a national landmark. Yeah. And I love like Western history and all of that stuff. And so, yeah, we were driving like through the Black Hills and I had that one bird to finish getting and no one would give me permission. Been hiking through the Black Hills and it was like 40-mile-an-hour winds. Couldn't hear anything. You'd hear a gobble and then it's like, can't hear it anymore. Anyway, I saw these two longbeards strutting in a field and I was like, I'm just going to go ask this guy. And I saw a truck and a man standing by the truck and this guy looks like the dad from the ranch. Like, I was like, oh, he's going to be a tough bastard. Go over there and I said, excuse me, mate, I took my dog at the time, where is he? Little red golden retriever, Forrest Gump is his name. And I took him with me and I said, hey, I came all the way from Australia to complete my single season Grand Slam. Do you think I can get permission to hunt those turkeys in your field? And he stopped and looked at me and he goes, every damn day people ask me for permission and every damn day I say no. But you know what? Go kill the son of a bitch.
Wow.
So I went and hunted, got the bird, and then I was like, I need to bring this guy something to say thank you. And I had a bottle of wine in the car, knocked on the door. Thank you. I got the bird. Thank you so much. And he said, you want to come in and have a whiskey? And I was like, yeah, it's 5 o'clock somewhere in the world. And it was like 11 a.m. Went and sat down with him, found out his family have you ever heard of the Driscoll Hotel?
Yeah.
In Texas? Yes. That's his family, the Driscolls. And they brought up during, like back in the settlement days, like 200,000 head of cattle from Texas up to the Devil's Tower and settled there.
Wow.
And so like it was super cool. And then next thing, knock at the door and there's this African-American cowboy there and he goes, come on in, mate. And I'm like, what is going on here? Well, turns out he was the Democratic seat for Cheyenne and the two of them are best of friends. So Ogden's the Republican seat and he's the Democratic seat. And the two of them sat down with us and drank whiskey all afternoon. And I was like, this is how you get water access, water rights. And this is
Wow.
Since 1973, the National Wild Turkey Federation has been working tirelessly to conserve the wild turkey and to preserve our hunting heritage. Visit nwtf.org and join for just $35 to leave a lasting legacy that will help conserve wildlife and unite a nation through life-changing power of the outdoors.
Bucket list collab.
Yeah, so someone you'd like to work with.
In terms of like a brand or an individual?
Either.
Well, brand, I would say Bass Pro in general. Does that count when I say that?
Yeah.
Bass Pro Shops.
Okay.
I was excited about this. I love Field and Stream.
Well, that too, yeah.
Yeah. That was, we're excited to come on here because it's obviously a Field and Stream show. And so that was super cool. Just so classic, you know?
Yeah, outdoor legacy and like actual storytelling.
Remember seeing those magazines everywhere. The only ones I'd go for in the waiting rooms and stuff.
So cool. Yeah. Just so classic and nostalgic, I feel like.
Yeah.
Good answers. Good answers, boys. Men. Sorry, not boys. Grown men. Manly men.
We hope.
What do you want to be remembered for?
Yeah.
I'd like to be remembered for being a good Christian. Just someone that can share my faith. And there's a lot of other things I'm sure I would love to be remembered for, but I think that one's the most important. I think when I'm gone, if people can look back at my life and say I walked with Jesus and maybe I brought other people with me, I think that's kind of the main goal in life.
It's the main goal for every Catholic, die a saint.
Yeah.
To be a saint.
All the ways off right now, but I'm working on it.
Yeah.
Well, none of us are Jesus.
I don't know. That was a good PR answer. But you also meant it. I know you meant it, John. I would say that, but also like I'd like to be remembered eventually for like my children, how the impact that I had on them and how they lived their lives, I think. Just sort of that type of legacy. That's the one my grandfather left behind. I think he's remembered for his family now and how he's raised them. So I think I'd probably want to do the same.
Well, those two things go hand in hand, I think.
Yeah.
They're great answers.
Because you can't do that without good knowledge.
You need both. Yeah.
There we go. This podcast was brought to you by the Catholic Church.
Yeah.
Bingo. Sign up.
Tune in from Vatican City.
By the Vatican. I love it.
That'd be a collab.
Oh, yeah. Oh, there you go. The Pope.
That'd be the coolest
There we go.
collab.
Yeah, in the Pope mobile.
Yeah, that'd
You're
be cool. Well, now we can talk to him because he's
old
American.
Popey. There we go. Yeah, I know. What do you guys think of like the current Pope? Love
I
him?
think he's great.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Awesome.
What do you think?
No, I think he is too. I think I like what he's not to get political or anything, but I like what he's been saying.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He says it in a good way.
Yeah.
He's not changing doctrine.
Yeah. And that's what the church needs right now. So yeah, it's good. Great. This was so refreshing. Awesome. It was awesome. Thank you guys for coming
having us on.
Absolutely. Thank you.
You know, a lot of us grew up with Field and Stream, dreaming about our next cast, our next hunt, and our next outdoor escape. So join the 1871 Club today and head to fieldandstream.com/1871 Club.